been a hot minute since I made a video. It's been a hot minute since I did anything. Don't adjust your screens. My hair is green. Anywho. I dyed my hair. For those of you who don't know, or for those of you who didn't watch the last video I put up, which was, me unboxing gifts from Adam for my birthday. At the beginning of June, Bailey and I were in a car accident. And typically, I'll take as much time as I want to recuperate from anything. I don't usually sit and worry about what people are going to say or think, because it's really my thing. It's what I want to do. But I understand. Do you mind just jingling through my video? Cats. When it comes down to it, we had a car accident, and that entails a lot of things. It doesn't just end when you leave the scene, or when you leave the hospital, or when you get done talking to insurance people, or when you get done, totaling out your car. There's a lot involved there. There's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of mess in general. So we've just been taking our time. I can't really, take an exorbitant amount of time off from my actual job, because remember, I do YouTube for fun. I don't get paid for this shit. But I can take time off from doing this. So if you're one of my subscribers who's going, well, why isn't he uploading? I want content. I'm selfish and I don't give a fuck about this person's life. There's a big unsubscribe button. Just go away. I don't want you here. If you're one of my subscribers who's like, bro, take all the time you need. It's good. You good, fam? Then I've got something for you. I've got a video I wanted to put up a while back. So I actually wanted this video to go up like the day after the Let's Play ended, and then we had a car accident, and I never got around to it. So now I'm going to do the video. I'm going to talk about a game. It's Capcom's latest foray. It's an interesting game. You see, the game I'm talking about today, it has a spooky village, a colorful cast of antagonists, enemy variety, lots of guns, and a protagonist that throws out one-liners. It's actually really fun. It's called That's the wrong game. 1 second. Remember, I haven't done a video game discussion in a while. I'm still rusty. Leave me alone. I'm trying. It's called Resident Evil 8 Village. So, a lot of you probably don't remember this, but I wasn't a huge fan of Resident Evil 7. I had big issues with it. I didn't like the character Ethan Winters. I didn't like the environment was cool, but it's just a fucking estate. It's just another house. Like, I could get it if it was a big, elaborate, exorbitant mansion or a castle. I'll get to that. I didn't like how contrived the game felt. I didn't like the direction they went in with the first-person gameplay. And I didn't like the fact that it had, no enemy variety whatsoever. It was really, really bad. And, you can sit there and be like, oh, I think Resident Evil 7's great. It's fantastic. I love it. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I just didn't like it. And people hated my opinion on it. So, imagine my shock. I only played Resident Evil 7 because one of my subscribers, Nathan of Devil Dog Gaming, sent me a copy of it. He wanted me to let's play it and then discuss it. So I did. But imagine my shock when I see these trailers for Resident Evil 8 and I'm just like, what is this new hotness? I'm seeing these trailers and it looks interesting. It's got an interesting location, several interesting locations. It's got monster variety. It's got Ethan Winters not being a big old puss. It was something interesting to me. So instead of a subscriber sending it to me, I just went out and bought it with my own cash. And so I got Resident Evil 8. I played through it for the channel. It's been a month now. So if any of you are going to be like, well, spoilers. Dude, go fucking play it already. What are you waiting for? Just go get it. Play it. Then come back to my video. Give me a thumbs up. I like that shit. But yeah, today, I'm finally going to talk about Resident Evil 8. So if any of you have been like, I'm going to wait to see what Brett says about it, here's the time. You're going to get to see what I say about it. But I gotta be really honest. If anybody complains about spoilers, it's not my fault. This video is going up super late. I don't want to hear it. So typically in my videos, I try to talk about the negatives first. leave you on a positive note. So I'm going to go over the negatives, which the list is actually really short, and then I'm going to go over all the positives I had for this game. So I think one of the most detrimental things about Resident Evil 8 is the fact that when I was trying to organize my fucking inventory, every single time I'd go to put something in a spot, if it wasn't turned at just the right angle, it wouldn't work. And I remember that shit working in Resident Evil 4. Like, I get it if I'm trying to drop one item on two items, but when there's a whole fucking gap of space, you can't just let that shit lift. No, I gotta turn it the exact right way or it's not gonna go. I'm joking. Okay, that's not a huge detriment to the game. It's annoying as piss, and I hope they patch it, but that's not my big issue. I actually only have two real big issues with Resident Evil 8. One of them comes in the form of the protagonists. Now, I remember in Resident Evil 4, we had throwaways like Torres Mendez. I've replayed Resident Evil 4 about 18 times, so some of you might not know who I'm talking about. Real tall guy, got a fake eye, turns into a weird centipede monster, hasta luego. Anywho, we had Torres Mendez, who was a complete throwaway. I get that, but we also had Ramon Salazar, we had fucking Krauser, we had Osman Sadler. There were some really good antagonists in that game. And for Resident Evil 8, we had Lady D, the big titty goth vampire mommy. That's fine. That's great. They advertised the shit out of her. But you get done with her in like 2 hours. And then you go through what I think are the worst fucking antagonists I've ever seen in the game. The second one, granted, Part 7 really screwed me up because it, took away my guns and threw that thing at me. But the character, the antagonist herself, she just kind of exists. She doesn't have any presence. Her doll is more, is more present than she is. And I get the thing. She's living through the doll. She's causing hallucinations. I get it. But she had no presence whatsoever. And when you get done with her, you go on to Fish Boy, and he's got some weird mommy issues that I'm not comfortable with confronting yet. But he didn't have any presence either. He's just kind of pathetic. And I get he's supposed to be pathetic. But these are supposed to be antagonists. They're supposed to be scary. They're supposed to give me a real thrill when I fight them, and these didn't, all right? Not to mention the level for Fish Boy could have been so much better. You get me on the boat, and you leave me on the boat for like 5 seconds. Why couldn't I fight Fish Boy in 2 different boss fights? One on the boat, and then one when I drained his fucking pool of water. I wanted a classic fucking Resident Evil 4 on the boat fight, and I didn't get it. That shit sucks. But then after slogging through those two, you get to Heisenberg. And I really liked Heisenberg. He's a fucking war fighter. He's a revolutionary. He's building a cyborg army to fight back against Miranda, this crazy bitch that pulled him into a family, more the family motif from 7, pulled him into a family that he wants nothing to do with. He even goes so far as trying to recruit you into it. And Ethan literally is like, fuck you, you're a weirdo. I loved it. Heisenberg was my favorite. The factory level was fucking awesome. I loved it. But, the problem I have is these antagonists. Mother Miranda doesn't have much of a presence either. She shows up a few times throughout, but, she's really not there for most of it. And I enjoyed the game. There's good things I'm going to say about the game. But I felt so disconnected for most of it. The one that I felt was the most antagonizing was Chris, because he's a cunt that doesn't tell you about anything through all of the game. But still, I had real issues with the antagonists, because they just kind of felt, for the most part, tacked on. Lady D and Heisenberg are cool as shit, but Miranda, Fish Boy, and Puppet Girl suck. The other big issue I have with Resident Evil 8 comes down to a story element. And this is why I'm like, should I even give a spoiler warning? If you haven't played it yet, surely you know by now, but Ethan Winters doesn't survive this game. Now, here's the thing that Resident Evil 8 did that I found fantastic. I hated Ethan Winters in Resident Evil 7, and if you watch my fucking playthrough, you'll notice I start having this dude grow on me, because he's spitting out one-liners, he's talking shit, he's having that bravado, he's like, I will save Rose! And I'm just like, yes, you will! The moment when Miranda rips his heart out, and I'm screaming, fucking regenerate, Ethan! That shit pissed me off so much, because number one, I thought they had killed him, and they do eventually kill him. Spoilers. But, I'm gonna bitch about this in just a minute, but the fact that Ethan Winters just had to die during this game after you had made him into a character I actually liked is so fucking backhanded. But here's the thing that really pisses me off about the story elements. They try to have this big, deep moment. You've been dead since Jack got you in Resident Evil 7. No, the fuck How is Ethan the one who's this weird mold monster that's slowly decaying, has no life, but can still bust a nut and produce a child? How the fuck does this make any goddamn sense that he has to die when I literally turned Jack Baker into a pair of fucking legs and he regenerated just fucking fine? I blew half his head off, I blew his whole top of his torso off, and he just kept coming back. He even comes back in the goddamn DLC after I turned him to a pile of mush. But for some fucking reason, Ethan, nah, man, he can't regenerate. He can't regenerate for shit. He's just got to die. That is so unfair. That is such bullshit. It makes no sense, and it would have been way cooler to me if Ethan had actually regenerated throughout the game. But he never does. It's infuriating. So, those are my two big issues. Maeve, are you looking out the door for her? Or out the window? She'll be here in a little bit. You're okay. Poor dog. Mrs. Mom. Those are really my two big issues with Resident Evil 8 on a whole. Like, the antagonists, some of them are really lackluster. And from the story elements, it just fucking sucks that... It fucking sucks that I started liking Ethan and they killed him off and they gave this bullshit reason as to why he couldn't regenerate and why he had to die. It makes no sense. Mia was infected with the mold as well. Jack and all the other Bakers were infected. But Ethan's this prodigy that has to die. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I get it. Maybe they're trying to get Ethan out of the way. They don't want him to become too powerful. They're like, make him a pussy in the first game, and then in the second game, make him slightly cooler, and then kill him. Like, I get it. They're worried about him turning into a god like all of the other Resident Evil protagonists. But you guys can just make another game and give us a new character. I'm not even going to mention the fact that they never show Ethan's face, which is just really backhanded. Like, I would have liked to have seen this dude's face. I get it. We've seen those post-stock photos of his... No, I want to see his face in-game. I want to see him emote. I want to see him kiss Rose on the head and tell his baby girl goodbye, and then shove Chris away and go blow himself up. That's what I wanted. But I didn't get that. So I had a problem with that. The story of the game, when you start thinking about it, and you think about the logistics from 7, you're just like, this makes no goddamn sense. This makes no sense. Why couldn't he regenerate? Jack regenerated like a motherfucker. Alright, I'm going to quit bitching. The fact of the matter is, I actually really liked Resident Evil 8. And you can see it throughout my playthrough. So, Resident Evil 8 has... I'm just going to focus on 3 key things. Gameplay, the environment, and the monsters. So, gameplay, it's still first person. I still get irritated that I can't use iron sights, and I even get mad during the game because it's like, Ethan literally at one point, I didn't realize this until I replayed the game. I didn't catch it in my playthrough. But there's one point where he points a gun at somebody, and he's using the fucking sights. He has the gun in the center of the screen. I just want iron sights. Resident Evil, if you're going to keep going first person, I don't care if you're afraid of being called Call of Duty. Just give me iron sights. Let me use the sights on the gun, all right? That's all I need. But even though it's still first person, it feels so much better. The gameplay has been refined. Ethan controls better. He moves better. He shoots better. There are a multitude of different guns, different shotguns, different rifles, different machine guns. There's all kinds of good shit. There's a grenade launcher that I found to be worthless and sold before I was even done with the game. Kind of regret that, considering, New Game Plus, I could have gone through with infinite grenades. But still. Anywho. There's no upgrades for that gun, so you can just unlock infinite ammo right off the bat. But I'll be honest, the gameplay is so goddamn good. It feels good to shoot. It feels good to fight enemies. It feels good to block at the right time and shove them away when you finally learn that mechanic on your second playthrough. But yeah, the game plays so well. The puzzles still leave a lot to be desired. I'm not going to lie. The puzzles are still kind of not really all that fucking hard to figure out. The only one I needed to Google during my playthrough was the fucking, the ring code, because I didn't know there was a lock on the door to the room I was in. Like, I didn't put that 2 and 2 together. That's fine. But nothing else in the fucking game stumped me. But, like, the game plays really good. I enjoy it. The level of exploration, finding items, finding hidden items, finding upgrades for your weapons, all of that is awesome. And speaking of weapons and upgrades, there's a fucking merchant again. And everybody's like, oh, they're just emulating Resident Evil 4. Yeah, that's the shit I liked about this game. It emulated the fuck out of Resident Evil 4. That's a good thing, Capcom. Emulate your good games. And give us a Code Veronica remake. But emulate your good games. The merchant, he's very weird. He's also integral to the story, but it's a good aspect. I enjoyed the shit out of it. The other thing I really liked about this game was the fact that I had so many different environments to go through. The village itself is a great environment that slowly opens up as you get new traversal things and new pieces. It's kind of like Metroidvania, unlocking little secrets and tidbits here and finding stuff. It's excellent. It's great. I love it. The village being the hub area and you branching out into these different places, it feels like, it feels like, RPG, Dark Souls. It feels like exploration. It was good. It was quite good. And I liked, while the antagonists, some of them fell flat, the fact that I had these different areas to explore was awesome. Lady D's castle is ornate and beautiful and horrific because you got these ghoulish humans that are trapped in the dungeons below, and it's fantastic. Not only that, I can go and I can explore this creepy doll mansion, which is heavily based on puzzles, which I don't mind. I don't mind that. I didn't like that it took my weapons away, but it did that to fuck with me. But Lady D's castle, then you've got the doll house, then you go to the lackluster fish boy place. But my favorite environment again, Heisenberg's factory. Holy shit. And the thing I loved was the enemies in this place. You've got these, granted, quite a few of them are just reskins. You got those same shambling humans from the castle, but now they got armor pieces on them. You've got these heavily armored cyborg soldiers coming after you, and it's just so goddamn cool. The monster variety. I kind of pushed into my next thing. The monster variety in this game is actually good. It's not huge and amazing, but it's goddamn fantastic compared to Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 had 3 monster types. 3. You get 3. You get fucking 3. You get the normal fucking mold monster, the speedy little scurry one, and the big fat one. Oh, Brett, what about those that had like the big spike arms? That's not a different monster design. That's the same one with a spike arm. It's not different. But in Resident Evil 8, you get the shambling humans of different varieties. You get the lichens. You get the fucking, the robot cyborg dudes. You get the creepy little doll things. That section was weird. But you've got variety. You got some different things coming after you. And it's fun. It's actually fun. I think if they make Resident Evil 9, they need to up the ante on everything they did in 8. Give us more monsters, give us more environments to explore, give us more good shit. I loved this game. I loved it. It's insane how much I hated Resident Evil 7 and how much I adored Resident Evil 8. Like, I really want some DLC. Like, the section where I play as Chris, honestly, is complete trash. Like, it's not very good. But I want some DLC where I can play as Chris with guns I have to upgrade, playing through with the fucking, what are they, the Wolf Pack? Is that what they're called? Playing through with his squad of soldiers. I either want it to be before the events in Village to see what they were doing behind the sidelines while Ethan was going through the levels. Like them coming into areas after Ethan had come through, maybe clearing out some monsters, or maybe clearing out some bigger bad things that we couldn't, we didn't know and anticipate. I want either that DLC, or I want post DLC that shows what the fuck is going on with the BSAA. Why are they sending bioweapons? I don't know. I just want some DLC. I'll pay for it, Capcom. Make that shit happen. And I'm actually excited for the next game in the franchise, which is really weird, because the fact that, again, it's weird that Ethan is a corpse, and he got his wife, who is also kind of a corpse, pregnant, and they had a bouncing baby girl, but I'm not going to focus on that. It's weird. Yeah, it's super weird. But Rose as a character intrigues the hell out of me. Because people have forgotten this about Resident Evil, but let's be real clear. Usually when you encounter this horrible shit that's been created by Umbrella and you overcome it, you don't always come out completely unscathed. The canonical ending to Resident Evil 2 is the one where Claire creates a vaccine for Sherry. And if you remember in Resident Evil 6, Sherry had regenerative power. She was also really strong. She's a capable, powerful woman. On the other side of that, you've got Jill Valentine. I can't believe I forgot Jill's name. You got Jill Valentine, who was infected by Nemesis and also came out much stronger. She showed up in Resident Evil 5 as well. On the other side of it, you've got the little girl Natalia from Resident Evil Revelations 2. Yes, I will eventually play the Revelations for the channel. I'm going to play all the Resident Evils. You know this. I love Resident Evil Revelations 2. It's great. I love it so much. But you got Natalia. She is, a fucking Wesker clone. She's this creepy little girl with all kinds of powers that we don't know yet. And we don't know what kind of ending they're going to pull out of that, because that had 2 different endings. But yeah, the fact that Rose is another godchild, basically, is super interesting. If we can play as her in the next game and try to bring down, the remnants of Umbrella or the remnants of the BSAA or whatever fucking horrible new shit's coming our way, that's going to be awesome. I'm actually excited for it. I'm actually stoked to see what Capcom has in the future, because lately they've been killing it. I don't give a fuck what these hackneyed fucking YouTubers said about Resident Evil 3. It was goddamn fantastic. The game's too short. Are you paying for length? Go to a fucking brothel. Nah, the game was great. Resident Evil 2 was fucking great. Resident Evil 8 was actually fucking great. And I'm excited to see what they can pull out next, because the games so far, in my opinion, have been fire. So I'm ready for it. Did I just get honked at? Whew. Oh, she's outside. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave me a like. Y'all take care. I'm going to go get some stuff and make some taco salad. Love y'all. Be sure to like the video.